On today's episode, I want to talk about items that I used to use in the States but have stopped using them since living in Germany. I may have touched on these subjects in other videos, but when I actually sat down and thought about it, I realized that there's enough to make an entire video. So, let's talk about it. Hello, Lieblings. I'm Mari, science fiction and fantasy author who's been living in southern Germany since 2014. Since living in Germany, I have had to unlearn a lot of habits. They weren't necessarily bad, it's just that things are different in Germany. It's a bit of a shock at first, but I am used to it now and I don't even think about it. However, my brain does automatically switch gears when I'm in the States, like US mode. So when I had to come up with this list, I actually had to do like some hardcore soul searching because I'm so used to things like when I'm in German mode or US mode. Yeah, anyway, I think I may be getting a little vague, so we're just gonna start with this list. It'll make sense. Number 1 is a dryer. It's very common in Europe to hang your laundry to air dry. We have these like hanger thingies for inside during the colder months, and then we also have a really nice clothesline in our garden for the warmer months. And when we lived in Überlingen, everything was air dried, and while for the most part I didn't mind it, there were certain items that I hated being air dried. I am very sensitive to fabrics, so there were certain items that if I could, when we were in Überlingen, I would have rather had them dried in a machine. Here in our house, we do have a dryer, but we only use it for like jeans and towels, which were the items that I can't stand being air dried. Number 2, AC. And I've said this in multiple videos where German summers are not as hot as Indiana summer. So a lot of times opening enough windows is enough. But we live out in the country and near a creek. So I have also made sure that we have screens on those windows, which is also not very common in Germany, and I really don't get it. But like out here in the country, in the city, that's one thing, but out here in the country, we have a serious mosquito problem. And essentially leaving these creatures an open invitation to eat me alive by leaving our windows open without screens was just a no-go. So my husband did buy actually an AC unit for us, because it looks like this summer is going to be very warm and I'm pregnant with a very low blood pressure. So heat is not good for me. The few times it has already gotten like past 30 degrees, I end up having to spend the day on the couch with my eyes closed because I would get very dizzy because my body would just get too warm. So like it's not good. Air conditioning I needed. Otherwise, like while not being pregnant, I was just used to walking around the house either just naked or in my underwear because our apartment's in an attic, so it gets hot. But I can normally count on both hands the number of days that actually happens in a normal German summer. So it's one of those like, yeah, I can deal with it for a few days. It's not enough to necessitate an air conditioning, but like I said, now if it's going to be warm and me being pregnant, that's different. So number 3, moving on, buying plastic bags at the grocery stores. In the States, plastic is default and people bag your groceries. We do reuse them at my parents' house. Those plastic bags are usually the lining of the trash cans in each of our bathrooms in the house. And my mom's also like really into recycling. So when the occasion that we do get paper, she also tries to reuse them as well. In Germany, I always carry a bag in my purse. So even if I spontaneously decide to go out and get groceries, I always have a bag. Ironically, the bag I have is from the States. It's my Target bag because it's massive. It's there. I've yet to see a bag that big here in Germany, but yeah. Anyway, so sometimes I do buy too much for that one bag and then I will get a paper bag. It's very rare at this point that I do that, but I get paper specifically because we do reuse them for either our paper trash or we use them for our wood stove, which is what we use to heat our house. At least this is like an incendiary, if I use that word correctly. I don't know. But we reuse it, yes. Number 4, microwaves. We do have a microwave here in Germany. I was very adamant about getting one when I first moved here. It turns out I ended up not using it as often as I did in the States. When I buy food, for example, in Germany, it's actually very hard to buy in bulk and cook in bulk. And part of it is because my husband eats everything. because he loves my cooking. So first world problems. So it's hard to have leftovers. And then, we go to restaurants, you don't really do leftovers either. So it's just not as often, as opposed to, on the occasion that we do have leftovers, then we will use the microwave. And even my own mother-in-law has had me use the microwave to reheat some of her food. So I'm glad we have one. I just don't use it nearly the same amount as I did when I lived in the States. Number 5, Sunday shopping. And this took some getting used to. When I lived in the States, I used to do all my shopping on Sunday to get ready for the week, and Saturday was my day of rest. I had to switch it. So now I use my Saturday to do all my errands and Sunday as my day of rest. It was surprisingly hard to get used to. It's been 8 years now, so of course I am now, but it is kind of weird now going to the States and my mom wants to go shopping on a Sunday and I'm like, what? Things are open? What? Okay, no, that's fine. Number 6 is not panicking when I see a cop on the Autobahn. In the States, the cops are in charge of dishing out speeding tickets, while in Germany, it's mostly speed cameras or blitzers, which are supplied by the Department of Transportation. Granted, if a cop sees you doing something really dangerous or illegal in Germany, of course, they're going to pull you over. But like I said, in terms specifically of speeding, that's the Department of Transportation and speed cameras. And also in the States, I've honestly have not had the best experiences with American police. And I'm white. And my brother-in-law is also a cop. I still have not had that great, and not with my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law is great. I went to a high school that had our own cops, and they were all assholes. So it's a knee-jerk reaction. So anytime I see a cop, my heart literally goes to my throat. And but in Germany, I don't actually have that knee-jerk reaction. I wonder why. Number 7, free public bathrooms. When I first came to Germany, I had to learn to pay for the bathroom. I was almost offended. How dare you? My freedoms. My rights. But those bathrooms are actually really nice. And once you go back to those free bathrooms, whether it's in the States or the very rare ones I've found in Germany, you come to the quick decision that, paying a little money to use a room that doesn't smell like stale pee, it's quite nice. Seriously. And, well, that's my list. What about you guys? What do you guys think? For those of you who have lived in the States and Germany, or maybe just the States and Europe in general, what items did you stop using or habits did you let go of when you moved to another country? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up. It lets me and YouTube know that you like this kind of content and you want to see more. Please leave me a comment if you have any questions or if there's a certain topic you'd like to see on this channel. If you want more info on my books and newsletter, check them out in the description box below. And don't forget to connect with me on social media, whether it is through TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. And that's it. Until next time, adi!